molweni, sanibonani, tumela, awusheni. Hello everybody, and welcome back to African Xhosa ASMR. Based on the title, this is going to be a true crime ASMR video where we'll talk about what happened before, during, and after the unfortunate passing of a South African boxing champion. She is Leighandre Baby Jegels. For a bit of background, Leighandre was born on the 6th of February in 1994 in the big, beautiful city of East London, Emonti, in the Eastern Cape province of South Africa. Lee had to fight for her life ever since she was a newborn baby. That is because she was born prematurely at only just 7 months old. The nurses and doctors would tell her mother how strong of a fighter Lee was. She pulled through. She was strong, she was fit, she was fast, she was unstoppable. Because of how strong and fit and fast she was, she excelled in karate, swimming, and athletics at school. Not only was she physically strong, but she was also very intelligent. As a matter of fact, she graduated top of her class with a bachelor's degree in education from the University of Fort Hare. After completing her university studies, she decided to focus on only just one of her many talents. She decided to become more invested in karate. Once again, like I said, she excelled in karate such that she became a South African karate champion for 4 years straight, which was from 2009 to 2012. After a while, she needed a new challenge in her life, a different challenge, and that is when she decided to shift from karate to boxing. She became an unstoppable boxer. She became South Africa's junior woman champion and became Africa's junior boxing champion as well. Because Leighandre was so good in boxing, she also received international recognition, and she was invited to Las Vegas, Nevada, to train at the prestigious Mayweather gym in order to showcase her skills. This was such an amazing opportunity for her, and she did not take it for granted. After that was over, she decided to come back home to South Africa. When Lee got back home, she was so excited and started chit-chatting with her mother. She told her that she will one day become the world champion in boxing. She did not only just want to become an African champion as she was, but she wanted to be known as a world champion, when it comes to boxing. She worked really hard and was taking baby steps towards making sure that her dream becomes a reality. Leighandre was very hardworking, and she put her mind into whatever she was doing, and she would do it with full dedication, and it would become a success. So her mother had no doubt that Leighandre would work and eventually become a world boxing women champion. So she made sure that she supported her daughter every step of the way. With having such dreams, big dreams, comes an even bigger responsibility. And because of that, Leighandre started to suffer from depression in 2017. Around the time she was suffering from depression, she met a man called Bulelani Mnyeka. And they started dating. Leighandre told her parents that she now has a boyfriend. Leighandre's parents were concerned, and something seemed a bit off to them about her boyfriend. They were not happy about this relationship for multiple reasons. One of those reasons being the fact that Leighandre was never interested in dating, and now that she is dating someone who has a huge age gap from her. Bulelani was 12 years older than Leighandre. Her parents were not happy about this, but Leighandre seemed to be in love and happy, and so they decided to support her. Bulelani and Leighandre met at the gym where they would train together, because Bulelani was also into karate. So they would mingle at the gym, and the fact that Bulelani was into karate as well. So they shared a couple of things in common, and the age difference did not seem to bother Leighandre as it did her parents. Her parents saw that their daughter was happy and decided to support her. They invited Bulelani for lunch or dinner, I'm not quite sure, in their family home. Bulelani came in and then started having a conversation with Leighandre's father. They started talking about their passions, their hobbies, their jobs. What Leighandre's father found to be interesting was the fact that Bulelani said he was a trained police sniper, and he found no problem, and he actually took pleasure into taking other people's lives, and he would feel no remorse for anyone. And he seemed to be bragging to Leighandre's father about the fact that he takes other people's lives and he finds pleasure in doing that. All this sent chills down Leighandre's father's spine because it was very peculiar to him. It was not just about what he said, it was also about how he said it to him. And this was another red flag for Leigh's parents. The relationship went on, and as time went by, things got rocky between Leigh baby and Bulelani. Her parents were concerned. Leighandre went to her mother and told her that Bulelani was abusive. She claimed that he had kicked her to the ground, smashed her head against the wall, and even put in her mouth and said that he would end her life. Leighandre's mother unsurprisingly said she needs to leave this toxic relationship. She has to end things with Bulelani right there and then. But Leighandre said that she was scared to do so. She had thought about it, but she was scared of moving forward with it because Bulelani told her that if ever she tried to leave him, he would take her life. And he would make it a point that he does not take her life in a private area where it's just only the two of them. He would make it a point that he does it in front of her loved ones. He does it in front of her parents. Leigh's mother took her to a local police station and they filed a restraining order against Bulelani. I told you that Bulelani was a trained police sniper, right? So he worked in the police enforcement. When they went to the police station, a lady police assisted them, and this lady happened to know Bulelani. Normally, when you're filing a restraining order against someone, the papers are taken and then that person gets served the papers. And the person or the victim does not have to be nearby when this is taking place. But in this case, the police officer who they reported Bulelani to knew Bulelani, so she decided to give Bulelani a phone call. She called Bulelani and told him that his girlfriend and her mother are at the police station and they are filing a restraining order against him, and he should come right now to actually sign the papers. She claims that she was doing this to save Bulelani from the embarrassment of being served at work. So Bulelani came in and he promised that he would stay away from Leighandre and that their relationship is normal. Leighandre went about her life and somehow she felt like she was being followed. She went to her mother and told her that she feels unsafe, like there is someone following her. She had such a close relationship with her mother. They had a tight bond. Her mother said, okay, wherever you go, I'll be right by your side. So Leighandre would always be accompanied by her mother wherever she went. Whenever she would go to the gym in Mdantsane, her mother would be right there beside her, by her side, and she would wait up until she's done training, and then they would get back into the car together and drive back home together. And they would always be on a constant lookout to see if Bulelani is nearby. And when they get back home, they will also look around the yard to see if he's not hiding in the bushes or anything like that. There was no sight of Bulelani. Months went by, and Leighandre started to get back to her normal self again, and she started feeling comfortable and safe, and thought that the thing or the situation or the case with Bulelani was over. There's a car. My goodness, I hear a car. Let's just wait for it. Okay, I think it's gone. She thought now the case with Bulelani was over. And then on the 30th of August in 2019, Leighandre's mother remembers this day like it was yesterday. It is imprinted in her mind. On this day, Leighandre was so happy and excited because she was back to her normal self again, and she was looking forward to going to the gym. And she started singing and dancing in the mirror, and her mother remembers her videotaping herself as she was singing and dancing. She was also happy that her daughter is finally back to her old self again, and that Bulelani was out of their lives. And Leighandre then went to her mother and said, "Mommy, I always train all by myself at the gym. You'd always be sitting there and waiting for me to finish. You know what? Today, I think we should train together." And then her mother laughed with her and then promised her that today is the day they will train together at the gym. They got into the car laughing and they started driving. At this point, her mother was no longer worried about Bulelani, and she didn't constantly check her review mirrors to see if there's a car following her like she used to a couple of months before. They started driving, and it was on the afternoon, so there was an afternoon traffic along the way. So there was this car that was driving behind her, but she didn't paid any mind because it's traffic, and the car started just to be on the tail, on her tail, like it just was on her tail. The car was constantly on her tail, and she thought it was someone who was in a hurry and decided to drive to the side so that the person could drive past her. And the person did not overtake her car. The person just kept driving behind her. And then she started telling Leighandre that there's someone who's driving behind me, and I think that maybe they're in a hurry. I'm switching to the side, but they're not passing by. That is the moment when Leighandre looked back and then looked at her mother and said, "Mommy, that is Bulelani." Upon realizing that the car following them was actually Bulelani and not someone who is in a hurry and trying to overtake them, she started driving faster and faster and even tried to make a U-turn in order to get away from Bulelani. But Bulelani was right behind them, and he started firing shots. He shot 3 shots at them, and one ended up hitting Lee's mother right next to her eye. Upon realizing that her mother had been injured, Leighandre then told her mother that they need to switch seats so that she can drive, because her mother has been injured and she can't be driving. But her mother said, if I stop the car, he will catch up with us. I need to keep driving as far as I possibly can. They kept driving and driving, but Bulelani was not backing down. As they were driving, Leighandre's mother became weaker and weaker, and her sight started to become blurry. That was when she realized that now she would also be putting the lives of other, cars or other people in danger. That's when she decided to just pull over in a ditch somewhere. She pulled the car over on the side of the road, and Bulelani was still stuck in traffic. Her mother was becoming weaker and weaker. Bulelani got out of the car in traffic. He left the car there, opened the door, got out of the car, and walked towards Leighandre's mother's car. They saw him approaching the car. Leighandre and her mother had nowhere else to go. Leighandre looked at her mother, and these were her final words. I love you, Mommy, but I need to go stop him from doing this any longer. Her mother could not reply back. She just looked at her daughter as she was hopeless and couldn't do anything to save her. Leighandre opened the door and got out of the car and went towards Bulelani. Her mother closed her eyes and started hoping and praying that she does not hear any shots. But unfortunately, after a couple of seconds, she had one shot, another one, and another one. That's when she began to weep, not knowing what happened, but had an idea in mind as to what happened. Her daughter fell to the ground. That is when Leighandre, Lee baby Jegels, died. She instantly died on the side of the road as she was killed by her ex-boyfriend, Bulelani Myeka. Bulelani went back to his car like nothing happened and started driving. Leighandre's mother was inside the car, hopeless and weeping, still not sure whether his daughter has passed or not. But she got an affirmation that her daughter was no more, when she heard bystanders standing on the side of the road saying, "Shame, that's her mother in the car. I wonder if she knows that her daughter just got killed and is lying on the side of the road." Now, she was sure that her daughter was no more. Bulelani started driving, like I said, and drove towards Pedi. The witnesses on the side of the road called the police. The police started chasing after Bulelani. There was a high-speed chase. Bulelani started driving faster and faster. The faster he went, the more reckless he became. He was so reckless such that he made an impact with an incoming car. The driver of the other car instantly died on the scene, and there were 4 people injured. Bulelani was in critical condition and was rushed to hospital, as was the other passengers and Leighandre's mother. Leighandre's mother managed to make a full recovery, and Bulelani died in hospital due to injuries sustained from the car accident. He died 3 days after he was hospitalized, and that 3rd day was the day where he was meant to appear in court. Unfortunately, this is the reality of many women in South Africa. Women abuse is a norm in South Africa, and it actually saddens me to say that. But women and children are not safe in South Africa, and according to statistics, South Africa is the number 1 unsafest country for women. I'm pretty sure there is a country you had in mind that you considered unsafe for women. But whichever country that was, South Africa, it's worse. And those days are considered the 16 days of activism to stop gender-based violence or abuse against children. Unfortunately, that does not stop men from taking the lives of children and women. Condolences to Leighandre's family and friends. The boxing community also lost a giant. She had so much potential, and it's so unfortunate that she was unable to live enough for her dream of becoming the world women boxing champion to become a reality. My heart goes out to all the people in South Africa and across the world who have lost their loved ones to gender-based violence. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.